If I needed you, would you come to me? Would you come to me to ease my pain? If you needed me, I would come to you. I'd swim the seas to ease your pain. Hey everybody, welcome back to our next episode of our immigration vlog. This week we have a guest with us. Some of this stuff about public charge is very confusing for adults, so I decided we'd bring in a child to help us understand things a little bit better. This is my daughter, Yuvia. Say hi, Yuvia.
Hi.
And she's going to help us to understand a little bit more about public charge. Our campaign is to fight fear with facts. So that is what we're going to do today. And we're going to do it in two ways. The first way we're going to fight fear is actually with some facts about ICE that doesn't have to do with public charge, but has been on everybody's mind in Lynn recently with the news about raids and other things like that. In reality, there's only 6,000 ICE agents in the country, and they don't have the capacity to do the type of raids that the administration has been talking about. So the same people who were a priority for deportation before or for detention before are still the same priority, and they should have take into consideration the level of risk that they have. But there isn't a change in risk from before the raids announcement to after the raids announcement, at least here in Lynn for our folks. There is ICE present in Lynn often, but it's not any different than it was before. ICE has always been in Lynn, and there was a recent worry that ICE had come to the Walgreens just down the street from the health center. And in fact, that was actually a human sex trafficking ring that was broken up, and the state police had come to Walgreens. But things like that are really important to remember, that sometimes what you see on Facebook or sometimes what other people say has happened is not exactly what it seems when it comes to ICE. The next part of our Fight Fear with Facts campaign is about public charge. We're going to have a lot of episodes that feature public charge right now because the rule has just been published and is due to take effect in October, on October 15th. So we need to be prepared to help our patients to ask the right questions and get the right information. So the first thing is that most public benefits are actually not the main concern for the public charge rule. For two reasons. The first is called totality of circumstances. And the second reason is because most immigrants in the country are actually, who are eligible for the benefits that are included in the public charge rule, actually are not going to be assessed a public charge test. So we're going to start with the first one, totality of circumstances. And that's why I brought Yuvia in today. Yuvia.
Okay, Mama.
Yuvia, we speak Spanish to each other usually, so she's not used to me speaking English to her. Can you say totality of circumstances?
No.
I can help you. Totality
Totality
of circumstances.
of circumstances.
Yeah. So a totality of circumstances test is the public charge test. And that's like, for example, if I were to take Yuvia and I were to say, I'm going to decide whether Yuvia is awesome or not. And then I'm going to say, she's so smart. She loves to run. She is very kind and generous and sweet and brave. And she also is a very nice and good big sister. So her totality of circumstances is that I'm going to decide she's definitely awesome. Would you say that's true?
Yeah.
If I were to only take, let's say, looks, for example, and decide on whether Yuvia is awesome based on her looks alone, that would not be a totality of circumstances test. We take the whole, that this immigration test takes the whole person supposedly into account, which means that no one thing can necessarily break a person's assessment. So the other thing about this test is that, like I said, most immigrants who will actually be assessed a public charge test are not actually eligible for the majority of the benefits that are listed under this rule. For example, if you don't have a green card or are in a process of applying for some kind of special status in the US, like asylum or refugee status or things like that, you won't qualify for things like food stamps or housing. So those would never be assessed to you, because the people who are actually going to be assessed for the public charge test are actually people who are applying for their green card and are not applying for any type of special immigrant status. So we're going to take 3 takeaways today. The first takeaway is things are not always as they seem when it comes to ICE in Lynn. Okay? The second thing is public benefits aren't the main concern of the public charge rule. The main concern is how discriminatory it is against people with health conditions, people who are poor, people who don't speak English. And in reality, most people who will be assessed a public charge aren't actually eligible for the benefits included in the rule. And then finally, this test has been designed to be confusing and frightening to people. And the best way to combat something like fear is with facts. So here we are fighting back at Lynn Community Health Center with facts, and we'll be with you next time for another edition of our vlog. Right, Yuvia?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.